So now, my face is covered with the self thing. Transition. Boom. So now you should see like me on the left chat, and why is that flashing? I don't like that. Hello. Hang on a second, guys. For some reason. Okay, it's not flashing anymore. Good. Hopefully. It's stream. Oh, I think we're good. Okay. Does it look good? You can see that like text May 3rd live stream building your information product. Yeah, awesomeness. What was the first info project you did? The first one I did actually was one called Membership Manifesto, and it went okay. That was about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was teaching how to make a membership site. So all that goes around comes around, something like that. The problem with that project is I wasn't that great at marketing at the time. I thought it was one of those, I thought if you build it and people, build it and they will come is the old saying, right? No, not so much. So we'll talk about some of the actual like headaches and hurdles there that we want to cover. Oh boy, this is really slowing down my computer here, which is okay. Okay, I'm gonna pop this over here. Dude, stability is very important, no doubt about that. All right, so should be able to see this. We're gonna map this out a little bit. We're gonna use a couple different tools. I am going to close down a few of the things I have running in the background that seem to be sucking up a lot of my bandwidth here. And I will show you what we'll do first. I'll show you kind of the behind the scenes of the Increase Academy. Give you a little tour of how I have that set up, so you can get an idea of what we're looking to build. Because basically, like I'll show you the little map, the funnel map, if you want to call it that. Now, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on the text so you guys can see it a little bit better. And boop. Okay. Sorry for the flickering. That is mainly when I don't have a window selected. It gets a little janky. You know what? I'm going to have to kill the chat too, because it looks like... Yeah, I'll have to figure that out off stream, because there is just clearly some issues when the window is not selected, which is a problem. Okay? Do not like, but that is life. All right, so let me give you a little tour of what we're talking about here. And I'm going to show you the very more straightforward, simple way to set things up. The process of setting up Increase Academy with all the different platforms I'm using has taught me a lot about what is good and what is bad when we're setting up things like this. So today we're going to look at the front end marketing, the sales page. That tool is going to be ClickFunnels. I feel like I should have a link to ClickFunnels somewhere. Sean.co/ClickFunnels maybe? Nope. Wouldn't be that easy. So full transparency, if you guys want to buy with my affiliate link, you are more than welcome to. I just need to find out what it is and link to it. So also the chat seems to have frozen on my end. I think I can refresh this without the stream completely crashing. Bum, bum. All right, so we'll look at these tools. So we've got ClickFunnels. There's that. Is this it? Oh boy, what a nasty link. We'll make a nice and pretty link for that. Hey, side tangent. You want to see how I manage my links? I use a tool called Rebrandly. And this is great because it's free. First off, that's always a nice thing, right? And I use this to manage like affiliate links and internal marketing links, and just it's like a pretty link builder like Bitly or any of those others, but you can use your own domain, right? So you just literally, once you follow their directions to set up, you can go in here, add in your affiliate link or whatever. In fact, we'll make this May 3rd live call. And then the link will be ClickFunnels Live. Check that out. So you can use sub IDs and stuff on ClickFunnels affiliate system. Anyways. That is something I wish I would have done a little bit earlier. I don't, you know, I believe in being fully transparent when like you're using affiliate links, obviously. What's up, Brian? How you doing? Adrian, book recommendations. That's a very good question. You know what? I will pop in here in our little outline. Other / suggestions. Guides on making information products. Because I do have a few books. First one that comes to mind is Understanding by Design. I'll link that in here in a second. And I'll share the link to this so you guys can follow along here in just a moment. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. If you want to use my affiliate link, you're welcome to. Don't feel obligated. It's something I wish I would have done a little earlier in my marketing, is build in, like, you know, I recommend a lot of tools and stuff, and I would not use my affiliate. That's okay. But it is something you can benefit from. So I am going to share this with the chat here so you guys can follow along if you'd like. Enable link sharing. We'll do can view copy. You know what? I'll even put what tool I'm using here, which is a tool for outlining. I'm sure someone will ask. Workflowy.com. And I don't have an affiliate link to that, but it's only like $5 a month anyway. So screen is blurry. You know, there should be a little button where you can change the resolution on Facebook. You should be able to, like, there should be a little gear or something where you can select that. Woo! That's a Big Sean. You know what? Big Sean's here. What's up? But yeah, let me link this over to you guys. Here. Fabian, and it very well may be like internet connection complications, things like that. But I will be generating a HD version of this eventually. Okay, so link to outline. All right. And we will pin that so everybody. Yeah, Workflowy is awesome, isn't it? Cool. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the book Understanding by Design is my go-to book for organizing data, like information. And we could get into a very in-depth conversation about that, but Understanding by Design, I will put a link to that book in here as well. Oh, come on. Amazon. Wait, is that the book? Yeah, absolutely it is. Okay. This should be expanded 2nd edition. Yeah, it's made for teachers and professors, and but one of the most challenging things in my experience, some people do this very naturally. Like, some people have natural skills like anything else. One of my skills that I don't necessarily have incredibly like I'm not the best at is teaching, and I like to blame my ADD, but you know, I won't. Not today. Okay, so, and you guys can see the Workflowy stuff, right? Should be able to. So, here we go. Screen good on my end. Okay, good. Let's talk technology a little bit. So the platforms I use ClickFunnels for the front end. So we've got tool 1, and I'll show you behind the scenes what I have in there. And then I use, they have a built-in awesome like like email system, but I just am not terribly familiar with it. I've used a tool called Active Campaign forever and been very, very happy with it. So I'm going to put follow up marketing system, and I'll try to show you guys like as much. There's my affiliate link for that. I'm gonna put this little note here, affiliate link, because I want to be transparent about it. How do you keep your equity gigs financially stable? It is a process of, when you're doing equity stuff, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but once you get a few good deals going, then you can focus, right? That's the big issue with not doing revenue share, is that a lot of times it's hard to stay focused because you've got to move around a lot and get new clients all the time. So a big benefit of equity or profit sharing is that we've got more residual payments coming out, so it's a little more long-term sustainable, right? So that allows you to focus, and when you can focus, you're doing a little more hand holding. I almost view it like a talent agency. It's almost like managing a group of actors. If you're a bad talent agent, you might have like 50 actors, and those 50 actors are going to suffer because you can't focus on them, right? Where if you're the best out there, you're focusing on just the few core you have. Like I think all the Jimmys, like all the late night people, all have like one talent agency and one guy, and he focuses on them. It's interesting, isn't it? Actionetics. It's true. They still have a lot of kinks to work out from my experience with Actionetics, but that also may be just because I'm very, very familiar with Active Campaign. So there we go. So let's. We're just gonna focus on 3 main tools today. There's a few others we can look at, and the last one is membership site. If you're just getting started, you can get away with, like, if you're using ClickFunnels, just like use their membership stuff, but it is a little kind of shoestring. I use Teachable, and to me it's not as good as, or it doesn't have as many functions as a lot of other tools out there, but at the same time, what I was looking for in a membership platform myself was ease of use and like sustainability. So you can go, Kajabi is another great alternative, but like you can go and there's just dozens and dozens of membership platforms. I don't know if Teachable is the best. It's the best for what I'm trying to do, which is create stuff fast, update it quickly, and focus more on like what really matters, which is the deliverable, than just like bells and whistles. So let me link Teachable in here, and we'll be good to go. Teachable. You can start out with their like lower price one. They have a free version too, which actually works very well. And you can, another thing about Teachable is like all these are kind of interchangeable, right? Like you can use Teachable as like the landing page builder too. If you're just getting started, and we'll start with like the very basics, of course, in this training. But you may not want to try and learn all these platforms at once. You may want to start with something like Teachable. I'll just show you real quick, like some of the main features, because they've been growing very quickly, which is awesome for them, and that means they have a very good incentive to add like a lot of like new features and keep it awesome. So I've been happy with how quickly they update and their support, everything I've been happy with. But you'll see, like, if you go to pricing, all these membership platforms have their like pros and cons with pricing and everything. I started with the basic. Actually, I started with the free to get to know the platform. That's another good suggestion. Like, if you're going to start learning something, like do the free trials, like get to know the program. Don't just go in buying the $249 a month if you're still trying to figure it out. The I think there's a free version, maybe not. I forget. There used to be. But the 29, the big advantage of the 99. This I honestly I do the 99. It's fine. The transaction fees might not be too bad when you're just getting started, but those add up very quickly. 5% is pretty hefty. This has affiliate stuff too. In fact, I'll just kind of write in here, what you can do. It does manage like landing pages, cart management, basic email marketing, and affiliate. It does have all that, so you can get started on a platform like Teachable very cheaply and cost effectively, and it'll take care of it. Now, when you start scaling, growing, you're going to find that some of these limitations are going to be a pain in the butt. Like for me in Teachable, not being able to customize the look and feel of the interior too much has been somewhat of an issue, but I have hacked my way around it. But anyways, so those are the three main platforms I use. I have a couple more that we may take a look at. But yeah, I'll show you. Let's do just a little tour of the back end here. Yeah, Teachable just got acquired. That's true. Yeah, I thought I heard some news about that, like 50 million or something ridiculous, I'm sure. Oh my goodness, I'm glad that didn't show my my login. In fact, I'm actually going to do this. I inevitably am going to show something like important and dangerous on this, so I'm going to try to be careful about that, but we'll see. Sometimes you'll show your little login details and stuff. That's never good. What would I do if I had to start from nothing? That's a tough one to answer because now I have a lot more experience, right? So it's like if I had to start from nothing now, it'd be different from. What do you mean this device? Okay, well, give me a second, guys. Anybody, that question is it's very tough because starting from scratch 10 years ago, starting from scratch now is very, very different. But now, with my understanding, I would very much start with a similar model which I have now, which is working with a certain number of clients to sharpen my skills and get access to ways to learn more about the methodologies that I teach in my information products. So I have that in tandem right now. If you're just starting out from scratch with no experience in this world, like info product or consulting, and you're kind of playing around with a bunch of different ideas, to me at that phase, it's about refining my ability to execute. So I would focus at any project I'm working on. It's not really about, obviously it's great if it's successful, takes off, makes millions. But the end goal at that phase in anybody's journey, in my opinion, is to get more refined with your processes of execution. So if you want to try to build an agency, give yourself a 90-day window and see what you can accomplish and commit exclusively to that. Because 90 days goes fast. And guess what? You have another 90 days right after that. And you can focus on that. So see how I have zero revenue? Isn't that sad? It's because I don't normally use Teachable as my checkout platform. So I use ClickFunnels actually, and another tool called Zaxa, which I'm not even going to go into, but it's a great tool. But I use that for a joint venture program I have with my advertiser. So we won't talk about that necessarily right now. But basically, if you've never been in a membership site before, you're not familiar with it, it's kind of like logging into Facebook. It's a content management system. Facebook, it has, when you're logged in, you can see stuff you can't see when you're logged out, right? Technically, Facebook is a ginormous membership site. And then, I use Teachable to manage all the content for my book. Someday soon it will be physical, but today is not that day. Odd side question. Do you do your own graphics, mate? Thanks for the question. Yes, so I do my own graphic work, and we can take a little look behind the scenes of that if you want to see kind of how I do that. I very much enjoy, like my background's in art and design. I won't say that I'm like the best, but I really enjoy it. So I do all my page layout. Don't recommend you do that necessarily if you're new to that or if you don't really have a passion for it. What I do recommend is developing an eye for good design, like buy a couple books on design and get to know what like symmetry is all about. And visual metaphors to me is the fun part of making any kind of guide or book or graphic, right? Like how can I make it stand out? And from a marketing perspective, like it's huge, right? Like to me, the perceived value of this book is a big part of what sells it. So you kind of sell the sizzle and deliver the steak, as they say. So when you see that ad with the book flipping through and it looks all ridiculously awesome, and you go in the members area, you see this is the PDF too. Like it'll keep you engaged, and that's really the challenge. Oh, look at this! I have a goofed up page on 39. I'll make a note of that. Fix page 39 in the book, Sean. From time to time, you should audit your membership content. Page 39, fix. So yeah, the graphic side, it has a dual purpose. I really enjoy it for one, but also I do believe that it has contributed heavily to the success of this book. Stands out. And it's exciting. I did do the Photoshop on this, which was kind of fun. To see behind the scenes of the graphic design. Sure, absolutely. So Bill asks, you know what? I'm going to make a note of these so I don't forget. Dun, dun. Designing your information product. Overview of my design process in Keynote. So, if you didn't know, if you're new to the group, I actually use a program called Keynote, which is like PowerPoint. You can use PowerPoint, Keynote. I do know like more professional tools, obviously, like whatchamacallit, like InDesign and like I think that's really the only super professional page layout program I know. It has its pros and cons, just like anything else. I will say the principle that drives a lot of what I do is the fact that I don't want to outsource a bunch. I want to bootstrap it as much as I can, and I really enjoy being hands-on. I actually, everybody's a little different, but for me, like the process of building, I very much enjoy, but I learn a lot through. So when I'm putting this guide together, my process has changed a lot over the last 2 years, but for the most part, a lot of the design elements influence the wording, and obviously the wording influences the design stuff. So Bill asked, how would you handle no testimonials? So we'll talk through this because that is very important. We'll talk about the pre-launch, right? So this is goal here is to, you know what, we're going to put this under a whole deal. The launch, because there is a strategy you can do to get around this. So go build testimonials and get feedback. So if you are selling an info product, you're just getting started, you'll want to do something called a pre-launch, which is you're getting a minimal viable product out the gate. So what that means is like it's not going to be perfect. My book is still somewhat in this phase. I'm adding to it. I have outlined a lot more I want to add, and do as I do, not as I say. It's a much better process if you are very clear on what you want in the information product. I will say there are several different types of information products, and my book has transformed from just a book about copywriting methods to now being more of what I would consider like a tome, right? Like a textbook, which is more of like I want to encompass all of as much as possible the principles that drive all copywriting, and that goes into psychology and stuff. So a lot of times most people aren't going to start with that. My book actually involved into that, and yours might eventually. But it started as just a collection of methods, and the sales page still just generally points to being that. It's a lot more now, if that makes sense. Yeah, the book, Jeremy, how long did it take? Oh boy, still in process, but so I'm going to preface the time because it takes about, on average, me about 4 hours per page. That may sound terrifying to some, and some people are like, I wrote a whole book in a weekend. Now, I'm writing a different kind of book than most. And it could be a course, like it's more of a course in my opinion than a book. I'll explain the marketing side of that later. Like it's a lot easier to sell a book than a course in my experience. So I frame it as a book, and eventually I will sell it as a physical book. But yeah, the process of researching, vetting the information, building the argument for each chapter, revising and doing the design is about 4 hours a page. So I'm at about, I don't even know how many pages I'm at now, to be honest. I think I'm close to 350. So I think if you average it out, it actually would be more like 2 hours. Now it's closer to 4 because I'm getting a little more like in depth into the content. And yeah, so time-wise, it is time-consuming, but you can get that. I got the first version of the book, the first like 80, 90 pages that I started the pre-launch with, out within like a month of working just a couple hours a day on average, probably. So yeah, there's different levels. My goal is for it to be the best book on copywriting. That is a very high and very difficult standard to hit. So I don't know if I definitely would not recommend you set that as the initial goal. You're over your life of putting together products. If it becomes your livelihood, you can adjust that goal, right? In my opinion, the first version of your information product should solve one problem very well and make it very and provide a shortcut to getting through that problem, because that's what the best info products do. They're not just necessarily collections of information; they are systems and strategies to reach certain goals and solve certain problems. So if you can do that, then you already have a great product, because if you promise in your marketing, they call it the promise, right? The premise, whatever you want to call it. If your promise is that you're going to solve XYZ problem, then your guide does it. It doesn't really matter how long the book is. It doesn't matter, to me anyway. Like people are buying for the deliverable. They are going to be more likely to buy. They may enjoy it more if it's wrapped up in a nice, pretty package. But to get the basic piece of info product out, you just have to solve a set of problems, one problem. We'll talk about that strategy a little bit, but let's just go ahead and put that in here, because that's to me one of the key point. It's not just about having a lot of information. It's about creating a product that solves specific problems for specific people, right? That is, to me, like the most basic definition of a good info product. I should come up with a term with it. I probably will when I launch Course Multiplier, which is going to be even more difficult than my friggin' book, and it is already a mess. I wonder how many people are in here now. How many students do we have in here? I probably shouldn't show all these emails. I won't. We will go to the overview section here so we can see. So within the book, where are you at? There we are. So 18,100 students. That's awesome. Proud of that number. Still lots to do, but we're getting there. Just to give you, let's see. Quick question. When will be the 4 elements? So we've got 2 more to go, right? Wait, no, 1 more. That one, and you know what? Maybe what we'll do, I'll show you that process of how have been working on that. So overview of content development. We'll just talk about one chapter with that. You know, concept, your claim, then research, building your argument, and we're getting kind of into the nitty-gritty of the product development, which I don't necessarily want to spend a ton of time on, and then crafting draft 1, revising, and designing. Right, so we'll put all those together here a little bit. Might not be able to get to all those today, but we'll at least we'll focus on what I promised on this training, which is to show you how we can get started quickly by using what's called PLR content. Now, major footnote, major like break, don't go out and buy some PLR, set up a membership site right now and like try to sell it. PLR, which stands for private label rights, PLR content, is usually not that good. If it's good, they would have sold it themselves, right? But it does give you a jumping off point. So don't buy it to sell it, buy it as a starting point. Okay? I didn't do this necessarily for my book because my starting point was my, like I have in Workflowy a bunch of different methods that I use to in my own business. And if you actually, like, if you're an expert in something and you have your own methodologies and shortcuts, like start there, right? But if you can find some complementary PLR content that may serve as a good foundation to pursue. So let's go ahead and start there. We'll talk about the technology a bit more here in a second. In fact, I'm going to open my ClickFunnels. You may see some sales numbers in here. They're not going to be totally accurate because I actually I use a different cart for my advertising. So, you know, it's going to be all kinds of fun stuff for us to look at together. But I'll kind of show you. Again, this is going to look terrifying. Don't worry. It's not that scary. Promise. So we've got my book funnel over here. Where's my sales page? There it is. Take a look at that together. And you know, if you want to know like a little insight into how I built the sales page, I started with a chapter in my book. You know, like this 7 bullet point page here. I'll show you. This is what I use really for a lot of my marketing. It's in, if you have the book, it's in there. It is under, where are you at? Bum, bum, bum. A's of influence, contrarian copy structure. So this is a principle-based strategy for building an argument for a sales page. Like, and it's not always like the same order on everything, but these basic 7 steps are what I use to outline my sales page and build out from there. Now, of course, it's changed over time, but the basic principles are all still the same. Does that make sense? You guys staying with me? We're at the hour mark, and we haven't even started building yet, but I think getting the basics of this down is very important. If you don't understand the what do they call that? The foundational stuff, then it's really hard to build some walls, isn't it? So let's get into building some walls. Now, back to the PLR stuff. We're actually going to buy this. Oh, come on. I definitely have that in here. Come on now. I'll show you what I'm thinking. So I get these emails all the time about these fancy, amazing white label. You can't see it because I'm actually in my email right now. I want to make sure. Okay. So this is an example. I'll pull this up in a second. And just in case you tuned out, I'm not saying to go buy info products or PLR products and build a membership site and sell that. I'm saying if you want to make a membership content site, like, look how nasty this is. I hate this page, but that's what it is. One mistake I did was combine winning swipe files, which made a confusing mess whenever I tried to follow the. I can make it more difficult, right? Getting organized is tough. That's still my hardest. Like, oh my gosh, this page is gross. I hate it. But the idea here isn't to buy PLR, private label right use content, to sell it. It is to use it as a foundational piece for us to build content around. So this is an example of one, and you can see down here at the bottom the rights. So yes, you can edit, rebrand the videos. Yes, you can sell it as a product. Yes, you can actually resell rights to this, which is silly, but whatever. Can be packaged with other paid product, blah blah. So this is an example of, there's all kinds of PLR content out there you can buy. I guarantee you that this probably sucks and it's going to have an upsell, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to go ahead and pick one up for the sake of this training with that heavy disclaimer of don't go buy these. And I feel like I had another one here. Let me make sure that, where are you at? Private productivity, is this it? Bum, bum, bum. But if you're, so we'll use it as a case study. Yeah, look at this, tools for motivation. Oh, special offer is closed. Well, so that is not what I wanted. Where are you at? Sorry, I'm looking. Oh boy. Okay, so here's like an example of like a site that sells a bunch of PLR stuff. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick up one of these, take a look at it so you can get an idea of what these have in them and kind of what makes a decent one, what makes a not so decent one. Because like I said earlier, there's two types of content. There's buckets like of information like Wikipedia, which are useful if you're researching or doing something, but it's not the type of stuff that to me makes a great info product because it doesn't have a very specific benefit. That doesn't solve a very specific problem. So we don't want to make like, how to do video editing, right? Because you can go on YouTube, you can that's a very, very generic problem to solve. But if you wanted to make an info product on how to do video editing for weddings specifically, like you could niche it down and you could even go high level and like make it about the business process, the editing process, you can actually break it into different segments to solve different problems. But you could start with a base level set of content, and that's what these PLR contents are really good. So you'll see we've got a lot of these are these are more like reports. So again, you could literally, let's say for my book, I could have started possibly with this. Yeah, it is bad, right? Yeah, PLR, private label rights content. And I'll say it again, I did not use any PLR in my book. This is more of like a way to get started if you've never put together an information product before. This is an audio book about how to do persuasion, and it comes with a 400 set of articles. Like, it has a bunch of stuff, right? Now, yeah, then this comes with some slides. So theoretically, I could pick this up, take the slides. Like, this comes from the assumption you know a bit about the topic, and you could remake the content in your own image. So you could use these slides, shoot video on your phone, and talk about it, right? And that becomes your base level content. Now, what I'm saying is to dress that up with specific problems that you're solving instead of these just more generic problems, if that makes sense. Bill says, I actually bought some good PLR in my space for
beautiful structure that they have that I plan to spin content. So spin, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting approach.
I think, like, maybe I'm partial because I write so much, but
the human element of building a easy to understand argument is very hard to get it in what the software tools that
spin this content. Now, though this page is gross, let me see if I think this is literally like their oh, they're blocking the freaking scrub bar. Well, we'll go to YouTube. So they got like a lot of these come with marking as well. So like this is I think the VSL that comes with it. To me, it's terrible, ugly, right? But we can rebrand it. We can take some of the base elements. We can learn a lot from this. So let's go ahead and do this. We are going to set up a folder on my computer, which you're not going to be able to see just yet, and we're going to pick up this this $10 PLR, slightly nasty looking product, because right now that's not necessarily the thing that we're too terribly concerned with. All right, so we're going to call this PLR for May 3rd sample, and then I'm going to buy this. Holy, only one copy left. I better buy it now. I've read it. Okay, well, I'm going to have to buy this without showing you guys because I don't want to show you my login stuff. But we are going to buy it nonetheless. So we'll check out here. Give me just a moment. Should have bought this before I got on here, but, you know, such is life. PayPal. Bum, bum, bum. And again, like content that you have the right to manipulate in whatever fashion you want and sell is the nice point of PLR. If you are like a master of your craft and you're like, I am going to make mine from scratch, awesome, do it. Like that's what I did. But if you want to start from a foundation of information that you can repurpose and then we'll talk about it more in detail, but I would add videos all around this, add new things. All right, so check this out. Let's see if I can get this back on the screen here. Bum, bum, bum. For $99, I'm leaving work. Hey, Charles, totally understand. I'm going to leave this up so you can watch it. Like I'll leave it up in the group for like the next 72 hours. So I understand. People are going to be coming in and out. I mainly put that so people would freaking show up because you need a reason. But I will leave it up for about 72 hours, and then we will also I will be taking it down, editing it into its own info product, and likely selling it. Okay, so check this out. Some kind of marketing junk. Full HD sales video, PowerPoint slides, blah blah blah. Yeah, so I'm gonna buy these upsells. You could just get started with the basic ones. There's probably going to be like 3 of these. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. This is not my favorite cup of tea when it comes to buying products. Warrior Plus is not like... Yeah. Anyways. I'm going to just keep prefacing it because people might be coming in later. Pick it up as a foundation. All right. Charles, you were going to call us that... That is either flattering and or scary because I appreciate that. But shouldn't you be working from home? Something COVID-19 going on, you know? Okay, so look at this. Need more PLR every month? No, I don't want this. No, thank you. Skip this. No, thanks. Gosh. Yes, I know that my sales page has some of these elements, but okay, what do we got? Laser focus, diffuse, distract. So check this out. This is interesting because assuming you're going to follow this process, redress the information, make it nice and clean, and even maybe redo all the graphics, like you're going to retool this information, add your own flavor to it. Some of these upsells may be useful to you.
again, do a lot of research. If you're going to buy PLR to start with, make sure at least it's decent. I have a ton that I bought that are terrible. This one might be terrible. I'm not 100% sure. The deal here for me is to, hey, I can't really know if it's good content until I buy it, do I? But this upsell here, we're going to look at it, but this may be a situation because I want to have an upsell to the product as well. Because what we're going to do, let's map this out. Do it in a little lucid chart. But let me see here. We got best way to manage your time is to eliminate your distractions. That's kind of a cool angle, right? So what do we got? Here's a demo of the content. Yeah. Oh, he's giving a tour of it, I guess. All right. Well, it comes with these videos. All right. So, oh boy, what a nasty graphic. But it comes with these videos. Finding out who you are, ways you process. So this, to me, is possibly a good piece of PLR to work with as well. So we could have this as an upsell. So $17. Sure. We'll add it on here. This is going to end up being a mess, but I'll make it nice and clean and easy for you guys to understand what we're doing. James Campbell, how you doing, brother? And then I am going to go back here. Give me 2 seconds, guys. If they have any more upsells, I'm gonna be mad. All right, so now a lot of these they'll come with like the sales page, sales copy, and I've said it like 47 times. I'm gonna say it one more time, then I promise I won't repeat it again. It's a basic starting point for us, right? It is some like the sales page that they include is going to be gross, but no, I don't want any more. No, do I have to keep hitting no here? Did I get the content? Where do I? Okay, thank goodness. All right, so let's see if they actually made this easy for us to access. Where? Check your email and complete registration. Okay. 2 seconds, guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and confirm. I'm not even 100% sure if this is. I had a set of. I wanted to show you guys buying it live, so you could kind of just get an experience. I do have some PLR we could look at. All right. Ooh, there it is. All right. So, yeah. Let me pull it up that email because it looks like to actually download this. Ugh. Warrior Plus. All right, there is that time management product and download that. I'm doing this on another browser because there's some just sensitive login stuff. Okay, I believe that is everything. So we are going to download the PLR package, which is pretty darn big. We're going to download the demo video. Now, if my internet starts to act a little goofy, or if it cuts it because I'm downloading some big old files, but we'll try and do both because I think download and upload we should be fine. Download HD videos, download sales letter and graphics. So we'll take a look at what's all included in here because that is going to be the basics of our content. Now, if you have, what do we got here? Audio MP3 files. And the transcripts. I'm not sure if that's all downloading right, but we'll check back on that for a second. Because what we're going to do is we are going to build out an information product about like personal development. So, we're just going to do a blank one here. So we'll map this out while that's all downloading. What is this fire launcher's nonsense? Oh, it's like a bonus thing. Time for, I think I'm already downloading this. No, maybe. Okay, I got the transcripts there. Did I get the sales page and graphics? No, not yet. So we'll come back to that in a second. Hopefully we got this all right. We are going to build an info product. You know what, let's put this down as like our base level strategy here. Goal is to build a minimal viable product with a specific problem we're solving. So for our example here, we're going to do info product on like self-development, time management, stuff like that. That's the PLR we bought, right? Now, James, go get those kids, man. Don't worry. James, like I said, I'm gonna leave this replay up because a lot of people are on like other side of the world. It's like 3 a.m. there. So if you can jump back in the next 72 hours, it should be up. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, so that's our goal here. Build a minimal viable product, solving a specific problem. Our PLR is the base level content, the covering the basics. We're not looking to this to be our whole product. Now we're going to add to this PLR piece our personal perspective, experience, strategies. Okay. So this will give you something to jump off of if instead of trying to make this all up from scratch. Because what the PLR has provided for us, assuming I can get this all organized, give me just a moment. I'm going to start pulling it together. Yeah, so we'll pop that in here. It's given us a structure, which is one of the hardest part of putting together these pieces anyways. So we can actually build around it. I'll see if I can get the outline here. I'm going to drop this into here and then show you guys what I'm looking at. Boop. And hopefully I'm gonna click on stream health and make sure we're still good. Might start seeing a little bit of funkiness because I am going. Actually, no, I have Dropbox turned off, so we should be okay. Because what I just did was download these. I'm pretty sure I got everything. Let me double check. Just downloaded the content. We'll take a look at it together and I'll kind of show you how this works. So I got that. I'm pretty sure. So we've got our main product, which is easy time management, right? I think that's what we bought, right? Easy time management. Pretty sure we did. What's up, Kevin? How you doing? Easy time management. Now, if you are tuning in and you're like, why is this guy looking at PLR stuff? Again, using this as our base level. All right, so easy time management. I just got to get these files organized here, and then I'll show you guys what we got. And then we've got, I'm pretty sure we downloaded everything right. Now you can either have like one of the info products be the upsell, or you can just combine them. I like to pick up a couple if I'm going to do this strategy. You might be in, you might solve a couple different problems and have them in different upsells and things like that. But so let's look at this little like PLR sandwich. So we'll just outline this section, right? So we've got our content piece. So maybe it's like our chapter one. I'm going to use generic terms so we're not getting too caught up on the terminology. But we have our like high level. Then we have the PLR content we purchased. Okay. Let me pull up. Okay. So yeah, this came with. Let me switch windows here so you guys can see what I'm seeing. I'm going to add in a window capture. And I'm going to say files. Okay, and we will make this window we've got. Let me just find this. How is everybody, by the way? You guys like doing good? You guys feeling good? Everybody doing okay? I love me some weekends, but I found myself like working all weekend, which is good because I very much enjoy what I do, so it helps, right? Okay, so you can see I've got these folders here. Oh, my little man's out there. He's not too happy about something. All right, so check this out. So this is what I just purchased. Like, I'm not even. I think I don't know. It's probably like $40. I don't even know. But what I got was this. These two products. I got the distraction diffuser, and I got the easy time management. Two different products. We're just gonna label these like 1 and 2. So we'll set this up as having an upsell, but for the most part, okay, we may combine these. But what this came with was these 9 videos. Came with a sales letter graphic. It's probably super nasty. I'm going to guess that it is, but we'll take a look. Oh, yeah, it's gross. But it gave us some content to start with. So, ew. I don't even want these bonuses. Go away. But this is some copy for us to start with, which is great. So if you have an info product you want to make, pretend for minutes on self-help, there's ones on almost every topic out there. You could start with the copy that comes with a PLR piece and modify it. It's not a bad. Oh, you can't actually see this sales page, can you? Boop boop boop. Yeah. So this is the sales page that came with it. Dirty, nasty. I hate it. But I'll show you how we can use that to our advantage to actually be something useful. So it came with that. It came with some graphics I'm not even going to look at because they're probably disgusting. And then each video came transcribed, which is pretty cool because we can add that into our members area as well. Or what I would recommend, if you purchase one like this, like you could turn that into a book if you were feeling fancy. So we've got our videos here. We've got time management, plan your day right. We've got what else? Outline your day, highs and lows. So like obviously you're going to want to go through and vet the information. You're going to want to like get to understand like automate your tasks. That's great, but like automate your email. I probably like wouldn't include those. But what you can do, back to our little outline here, we can sandwich that content around our perspective and insights on the topic. So you can make your video. Now you can either edit it in there. Some of these come with slides. Maybe I didn't download the slides. Let me see. Maybe I missed those. Download videos, graphics, transcripts, download sales video. Did I get that? Let me double check. So it doesn't look like this one came with these slides, which is kind of annoying. Because what I would personally do is instead of like, let me just pull one of these videos up and we'll take a look at how. So each one of these about. Yeah, so these have key principles, right? So that could be useful. You can look at the transcripts. Again, goal not eventually, like strategy-wise, we'll replace all the PLR stuff with just our stuff. But it can give us the basics, right? So our video is going to be the perspective and insights about the topic. Our jumping off point is the PLR content. So the first video, for example, here with this easy time management product is about planning your day right. We watched that video and I'm sure it's just like the basics of like how to keep a calendar, how to like map out your day. You should be likely doing those things yourself. But B, this is the best case scenario, right? It's not always going to be perfect in your own world. I have my own strategy for my day planning, but it's not always every day. I don't always stick to it. Doesn't mean I can't share that with people. It does mean I should really try to do it more. So, anyways, we've got our transcript. We can watch the videos, and then what I would recommend, what I would do, take my phone. I've got a couple cameras here that I use. But if all you got is a phone, it's fine. You may need, is that something throwing at my door? iPhone 11, I got here. Any iPhone, really, any Android, they're going to have like super crisp video with the right lighting. You don't have to buy fancy lights. You could literally just like stand by a window. You want a little contrast. Shoot yourself a nice video. You could do over-the-shoulder keynote style stuff if you wanted to. And really what we're trying to do is share our methodology, right? Definitely would recommend doing the research part. We can't spend too much time. We won't get to anything else if we just talk about how to put the content together. But again, this is a strategy. And then then we can also add our strategy guides. So we've got like mind maps, worksheets. What are some other ones here? Case studies, resources. So most PLR stuff is crap. That's okay. We're going to make it awesome. So we can either take a lot of the content that is in these guides and we can modify it. In fact, I will pause for just a second. I have purchased some PLR. In fact, like I purchased one for, I think it was like $499. Like it's very expensive because it was very well vetted information, right? So there's all kinds of different ranges of content. I'm starting with like a low quality one, so we can. That's about the average, right? The average is the quality is not fantastic as far as PLR content goes. So we'll start with the rule, not the exception. Some guides out there, man, they're really great. And if you want to literally go and license other people's content, like you negotiate it, like let's say you found a YouTube video you really liked and you said, hey, let me pay you $200 to use your video in my course. You could just embed their video from YouTube into your course, but I would personally, if I'm selling the course, I'd rather purchase the rights to it. That's a whole other discussion. But yeah, so we're going to make this little sandwich. We'll call this the PLR sandwich. Hey. Did I spell sandwich right? Is that? Nope, that's not how you spell sandwich. It's close. All right. So this is just one piece, right? So in my book, I have. Oh boy, browser is mad. In my book, I have a bunch of different sections. None of these were PLR. I made these from scratch, but guess what? 4 hours per page on average over the course of 2 years. If you want to get started a little quicker, this is the strategy I recommend, because then you can go back and start building this stuff around it. You get your minimal viable product, and you can start building out some testimonials, some feedback. And we're not going to sell it for like, $1,000. We're going to sell it for a reasonable amount so that if people aren't happy, we can always refund them. But B, we have some people involved to help us out. I'm also going to put in here just one more thing. Boop, boop, boop. Facebook group on problem and topic. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. About that. All right. Where were we? Okay, you can still see that. Good. So let's map out this funnel real quick. We're an hour and 25 minutes in. I'm just, steal like an artist, right? I think I have that in my book somewhere. I gotta look now. Hang on. I think I have a better quote for you. Ready? This was my quote. I felt really good about coming up with that. It's my only pat on my back. Oh, imitation game. So we're imitating, right? Great poets imitate and improve, whereas small ones steal and spoil. So we want to imitate and improve. And we're licensing it, right? So we could just launch it as is and legally be fine. But quality-wise, not so much, okay? That's why we're going to revamp this a bit. So let's look at the May 3rd funnel. We're going to make this fairly simple to start out with. You can always add to it. We're gonna start with our main sales page for our entry level product. Make sure this is zoomed in right here. Okay, so this is just a little mind map making tool. Really like it. So this is a page. And if you do funnels, this is probably going to be the most boring part of the presentation because we're going to do a pretty basic funnel here. Got our sales page. All right. Sales page. It's going to lead to our cart page. You could put the cart right on the page, but depends on how you have your technology set up. Okay. Okay. I like to have a little separate cart page because then I can test them separately and do all kinds of stuff. But we'll just go ahead and stick with the. We'll start with $24 starting price. Okay. Then we go to our cart page. Then from here, we're going to do some technology stuff real quick. We'll just map this out. We're gonna. Heck on it. I am trying. Oh, it's not giving me the option. All right, well, I'll just drag it in here. We are going to pull in people to our CRM email system. Client CRM, right? Customer relationship management, CRM, active campaign, right? We'll put the tech in here in a minute. So when they buy, they go into our email system. We can get really fancy with that if we want, like doing pre-opt-in things. And we're just going to get the basic flow here down. And then for this, we're gonna attempt to have a upsell in here. So we're gonna have optional upsell. Okay. And what an upsell is, it's giving them a one-time offer, right? Well, we'll call this one-time offer. Okay. You're welcome, Gregory. I'm glad you're finding it useful. You know, sometimes just like reviewing some of this basic stuff might not sound basic to you. I know, you know, they call that the curse of knowledge. When I look at this, I'm like, oh my gosh, like 101 before 101 stuff a lot of times. But if you're just getting started, like you don't know what you don't know, right? So our one-time offer. Now for this, since we're using PLR, we're just getting started. We're not gonna. We'll talk about another method to make like a $300 product fairly quickly, but let's just set this one at about double the price. So I'm gonna say 48, not 8, 48. And this is gonna be our upsell product. Basic stuff. A lot of different strategies out there, a lot of different approaches. Russell Brunson has about 1 billion of them. We could do a tripwire. We could go nuts. But if you can just get a basic one in place, at least you have something to start with, to work with. Very useful. Okay? So, we're going to have our one-time offer. They're either going to say yes or no. Either way, we're going to take them into membership area. Yes or no. I'll show you an example of a page like that in a bit, but super basic funnel. But guess what? If you can't get the basic out, you can't do the advanced. Okay? Cool? Makes sense? How's everybody feeling about this? It's all right? It's not too crazy? It's pretty simple stuff right here. But in general, this is what you need. You can't, like, it's like building anything else. Until you have the frame of the house built, you can't build on an entertainment system, right? Like, you got to have this entry level funnel. And that's what we're going to call it. Our entry level funnel. You want to see an advanced funnel just for kicks and giggles? I'll show you an advanced funnel. And yes, I have ones like this that are live. And no, you don't have to have these to make a bunch of money. My book funnel, as it is right now, is closing in on about $1 million gross, and it is pretty much this funnel with a bunch of bells and whistles, but it's this simple, right? Which one can I show without getting in trouble? Where's my mega? Not to be confused with mega, just mega funnel. Just to scare you a bit, freak you out, make you jump off here. No, just kidding. Captain, see how long this one's taking to load? That's how. Yeah, you can go nuts with these things. All right. If you're on here, you're like, dude, this guy's showing just the basics, because that's what this is. This is just a basic webinar. Okay, so we can do all kinds of crazy stuff. We're gonna get the basics live first, because if you don't, you can't add to it. Like I said. All right, then we'll put in here. We're gonna put in our little follow-up email for upsell. Okay, so just some of the funnel pieces that I don't know if we'll get into entirely today, but let's say they don't buy the upsell, right? No, they don't. They don't buy it. Guess what? We wanna give them a chance to buy it again. Maybe we bump up the price. Maybe we don't. But those are all linking to why you should buy upsell product offer. So, email marketing. It's pretty dope stuff. So if this is a sales page. This is our $47 or $48 product, but it is it's not in our upsell flow, so it's going to be a different page. Might be some of these tools, yeah. But then if they buy that, yes, they go into membership area. I'm not going to talk about advertising just yet. That will be another webinar. I'm going to make my buddy who is epic at ads come on and talk about that. But so then also if we're feeling really fancy, we can do what's called a squeeze page. Lead capture. I don't believe in these as much anymore. They're still viable, but if you can get the sales page to convert really well, I'd rather have 10,000 buyers than 30,000 leads that just opted in for a free report, personally. So optional squeeze page, lead capture page that goes into our CRM area here. Bleep. We'll make this a little easier to read by doing this, and we'll change the color. I love these little diagram tools, don't you guys? Oh my gosh, does it make life better? Then that is gonna bring them back to here. It's been a long week, guys. I took on my first consulting client in a while that wasn't like equity. He just wanted me to look at his funnel, and it's been really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. Just like, hey, do this better. And I basically priced it in a way that is like, well, this is the price if you want me to do this, but otherwise I'm not going to be too upset if he doesn't do it. And he ended up taking that price. So I was like, all right. But yeah, so this is another option here. These kind of look ugly, so we got to fix that. Sean, do you have ADD? Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. Cool. So we'll put our big T over here, our traffic. Traffic. Maybe you already got an email list. Maybe it's affiliates. Maybe it's Facebook ads. Maybe it's sending out. Oh my gosh. Flyers. Probably not these days. All right, I don't know what a terminator is, but we're going to say traffic. Generic traffic. Okay. On this webinar, we're not going to be able to go like super in depth into different approaches to different traffic sources, but This at least will get us going. We'll make this blue. Why not? Facebook blue, right? Been confused on the equity. Do you have shares in the company? So equity is a word that probably is confusing if you are into investing. I call it equity because that's what I've always, but it's basically profit share, right? Profit share on money I bring into the company. Now, like obviously, if you can negotiate shares of the company, if it is a publicly traded company, awesome, good for you. I mainly work with non publicly traded companies, and I think at this point I could theoretically negotiate in deals where I'm getting pieces of the full company to help it grow. But I'd much rather have revenue share on marketing I do personally, because it's a lot less what do you want to say? It's a lot less invasive, a lot less there's pros and cons to both, obviously. Like if I would have got equity in some of my clients, like equity in the business would have been worth a lot more in the long run. But I got equity in the marketing pieces that I did, which, they're well in the tune of seven figures for myself. So I'm happy with those deals, and I don't have like an intense obligation to, like, I can focus on doing a lot of those deals as opposed to like folks. If you're in on equity, you're a partner, and you're also like selling that service to other companies, it might be a conflict of interest. So anywho, back to the topic at hand. We've got our main funnel. So let's go ahead and build this. We'll build it as fast as possible. Rev share mostly. Yeah, hope that makes sense. And that is true. A lot can happen before profit is calculated. That is very true. That's why I like to work equity deals or profit share with mainly companies that are doing digital products, software and or info products, because the margins are a lot easier to understand. And yeah. All right. So we are going to use ClickFunnels. You could, again, I'll recap a little bit. You could use Teachable. Teachable has a sales page builder, which is a lot more advanced now than it used to be. When I first signed up, it was not all that awesome. But I'll kind of show you, like, Teachable has a page builder. You could use WordPress. You could use a Google Doc. Doesn't matter. You know what? I'm not going to show you Teachable because we're not going to use it. But needless to say, doesn't matter what platform you use. If it converts in a Google Doc, it'll convert on a sales page. And it's all about the copy, right? Glad that makes sense. Okay. So ClickFunnels is great. Page builder, it has a lot of bells and whistles that I don't necessarily use personally, but you could get super advanced in there. And yeah, so we're just going to make a basic funnel here. I'm going to show you how I do it. There's probably better ways to do it. I'm going to do a classic. I'm going to sell a product. Wait, actually, I'm going to do a custom funnel. And so we're going to change the name of this product because that's terrible. Easy Time Management. It's my least favorite name of any product I've ever heard of. And of course, you don't want to use the same name as the info product anyways, right? So we are going to name this. Should have come up with a name. What should we name it, chat? Got any good names? Cold traffic to a sales page works well enough. Yeah, exactly. Hamid, like, ClickFunnels is freaking easy. I've hand built them for years and used all kinds of different platforms. OptimizePress is great. Like, WordPress is fine. I use WordPress for my blog. Like, there's no wrong answer, but ClickFunnels to me is like just freaking easy. But it's easy because I use it all the time. Kartra would be easy if I use it all the time. Kajabi would be easy if I use it all the time. All right, what's a better name than Easy Time Management? The how to effectively manage your time and plan your day right. Let's call it the Self-Starter Strategy System. We will give it a very corny name. Time you like. I like that too. The 4S. We'll abbreviate it 4S method. Because I'm a marketer and I like to give things weird names. All right. So, build that funnel. Can always change, right? Matter of time. So, I'll give you just a little philosophy on naming stuff. I'm a big fan of when you're at least like with these base level products, like have a little mystery, like 4S, weird self-starter system, like that's cool. But like give a hint to what it does in the name if you can. 7-figure marketing copy is pretty clear what that is, right? Like, you know. But yeah, you could. There's all kinds of different approaches there. Now, ClickFunnels, like they have a bunch of different templates. I've created some of my own templates. I think where do I have them in here? Show only my templates. We'll start with you know what? I'm going to be bad and use an email opt-in page as my sales page. Terrible idea, but I'm going to do it anyways. All right. And then I'm going to use my template here, and maybe I'll share that in the worksheet somewhere. But I just like this style. Like, I think it's very nice and clean. So we'll get the, you know, I skipped steps 1 through 1,000 in building this page because I'm using one of my templates, but I'll give you an idea of what it looks like. You know, I just like this nice, clean, straightforward look. This is a page I built like a while back for an affiliate promotion, but it'll work for this. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the base level content from their terrible website, and we can always edit that later. But I'm going to go in here, I'm going to rename this. I like to name the pages like steps. So we're just going to say 1. This is our sales page for the 4S method. Right? 4S method. Oh, do I want to commit to a domain name for this? Let's see if there's any fun. Overs.com. Wait, no. Over.com. Via the info on mastering efficiency. Would you rather be efficient or effective, though, Charles? See, we'll talk about the marketing here in a second. 4S. Let's see if there's any like 4S domain names. I very much doubt it. Ooh, 4S software. Like sometimes there's some of these really fun like short domain names I like. The domain name does not matter at all, to be honest, in my experience, because we're running advertising, right? 4S Coach could be a nice upsell. 4S Academy, look at that. 4S degree, 4S review. So you could go out and get some cool. Be sweet if there was like 4S method. I mean, if you did 4S.academy and then you named it 4S Academy, it'd be solid, right? What did we name this thing again? Self-starter strategy system? What a name. Okay. Now, 2 things. This is huge. You made it this far. This will be worth your stay. To me, a sales page is 2 things. Sales page theory. Can you see that? No, you can't. I will scroll down. Sales page theory. All right, I already showed you in the My.Increase Academy area, the book. I have like a 7-part layout I do. But your sales page isn't selling the book first, or the course first. First, you're selling an idea. May sound like super hidey-flighty. We'll talk about that in a second, what that means, so that you don't like, oh yeah, Sean, selling an idea. Blue. I'll explain what that means. Then second, we're selling our product. Okay. what do I mean by selling an idea? We need a strong, counterintuitive claim that captures attention. Okay. First thing, this is really the base of our campaign too, right? So I don't want to get too many words going in here, but you know, base of our campaign. Because think about it. What is a TED Talk? TED Talk is selling an idea. Whoa, hit the wrong button. Oh boy, what did I do? Nope. Okay. Base of our campaign. That's our TED Talk, right? We'll put that in parentheses. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk. The TED Talk for my sales page for sean.co/copy is that there is an entrepreneur skill. Okay. I make a big claim on this page. This big area up here I don't necessarily love right now, but we will just ignore that for a moment. Okay, so my claim, my theory, my big thing is that I'm making the claim that there is a single most important entrepreneur skill. I believe that. I believe copywriting is a skill every entrepreneur should consider to start with. It's not the only skill, which I say on the page, but I do believe that. And I make, you know, I like to think, a compelling argument as to why that is the case, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're really following like argument 101, which is make a claim, support the claim, and then transition into why our product helps accomplish or you know, solve a problem related to the claim. That is a sales page, in my experience. You can obviously break that out. That could be a webinar. That could be anything. But we don't want our page to be like, discover how to effectively manage your time today. This page will not convert. Guess what? 1 million people are promising that. This is like the second part of our page. Our claim on this is that I'm gonna be real cheap here and make the claim that before you can be successful, we'll just write this out. We'll work together, okay? So what's our claim on this page? One that's a little, you know, it's a little touchy. It gets attention. It's a little strong. Maybe it ruffles some feathers, right? So you can't find success in anything before you understand how to successfully, this is a long version, we'll clean it up, how to successfully manage your day. All right. The strong claim. That's a marketing claim. That's a what? I can't be successful in anything? All right. We could probably refine that, get that cleaned up, but we'll start here. We could even make this up. Before you understand, four simple. Before you implement the 4 S's into your life. All right. So we're gonna have to come up with 4 S's as well, because I'm committing to that. I like that. But yeah. So that's our claim. Does that make sense? Does that concept make sense? Like, we gotta convince people that our approach to the problem is sound before we present a product to it. Now, this campaign piece might, like the top of this page, could be an ad, then lead to a sales page. Like, you can break this out into different things. But I like to have them both on the page so I can at least have that as a starting point. All right, glad that makes sense. Even though chat didn't say anything. Just kidding. Man, Facebook is so mad that I used high resolution on this. Keeps yelling at me. All right. So yeah. So that is our claim. We can clean that up. We can adjust it. You might have different claims later. Doesn't matter. We're gonna start with that. I'm gonna say anything that matters. All right. And we'll preface it with a little, can't find real success in anything that matters before you implement the 4 S's in your life. What are the 4 S's? I'll get to that in a moment. All right. So ClickFunnels, if you've never been in it before, it is a drag and drop point and click editor that uses 4 different types of, we'll just say, blocks. I don't know. We have sections, which are the biggest. It's like a Russian doll, right? You got sections that hold rows, rows that hold columns, columns that hold elements, and elements are the things you see on the page, right? You should, if you're going to use ClickFunnels, get to know the interface. I can't like walk you through every single thing here, but really what I do enjoy is it's what you see is what you get editor, right? Like you see it, generally what it's going to look like on the page. It does have like mobile friendly settings, so you can be awesome like that. But yeah, that is what it is. So we're just gonna follow my little, we won't write this whole page live because it'll take hours, but yeah, we'll at least get the basics here. On this page, I like, you know, there's these little things called like guiding phrases, words that I love to have on a page if I can. Tell them, like, keep them from getting confused about what is going on. And I am sinking lower and lower into my seat as this video goes on. I am going to do one little thing. I'm going to do custom CSS. So I'm going to put a U and I'm going to write background equals light yellow. Do not worry about that. It's just like a personal thing. I want anything that's underlined to be highlighted yellow. So you can add CSS if you even know what that is. Don't worry about it. If you don't, not a big deal. Okay, so on this page, you're about to learn what the 4 S's are and how you can. I'm going to put some really crappy copy here. Don't worry about this. It'll at least get us down the page. You're about to learn what the 4 S's, how you can start implementing them in your life right away. Okay, we're giving a big promise on the page. And then, you know, let's do this. Let's say at the top here, we want to say, let's touch on that little pain point, okay? What's a pain in people's life? Feel stuck? That's a really common one, right? Feel stuck? Not sure why you can't seem to get motivated or stick with one project at a time? You've come to the right place. All right. That is some HSN sound and stuff. But it gets the job done, right? I like these nice, like, clean pages. Obviously, this is a little intense. A lot of text in here right now. We're gonna clean this up. We're gonna get this looking awesome. So this is kind of like our hook, right? Like most people will fall into this category. Not sure why you can't. That's kind of, not sure why you can't see him. It's like I don't like the way that's phrased, but not sure. We'll leave it for now. This is round 1, right? Like you always should go back, revise, clean it up, make it sound a little less janky, but we're going to start there. And what I'm going to do, so you see how this element, this row is in here? This blue thing is a row, okay? Let me make sure this is okay. Cool. So we're going to actually make a 2-column row. We're going to add a row under this one, and we're going to move it up. So we're going to add a 2-column row. We're gonna build some of this out real time, and then obviously if we spend too much time here, it's gonna get a bit much. But we're gonna have this be kind of our hero, okay? And then I'm actually gonna add a row at the top here for our little header. There's no like absolutely right or wrong way to do this as far as layout goes. I have kind of my personal preferences. Not sure why. Ooh, there we go. Not sure. Yeah. You're right. That's a little wordy, isn't it? Can't seem to get motivated? Or wonder why you can't stick. This is wordy, but I do like this could be a bullet point. Can't seem to get motivated? Wonder why. Let's do this. Let's get creative. Ready? Ever wonder why you can't stick with one project at a time? This is a lot like my my other sales page. Look at that. We'll get this looking good, guys. Don't worry. Let's just say you're in the right place. So that word "you" is very powerful in marketing. Remember that. All right. So let's even take this up a notch. So I'll just give you some little tidbits on how I like to work in ClickFunnels. Any web developer is going to be so mad that I do it like this. But wait, what was the first line? Feel stuck? I like how simple and I'll clone elements on here. ClickFunnels, like I used to hand code pages, and there's a lot better ways to do this. You should be using style sheets. But guess what? I want this live like today. I don't want to I don't want to hire a developer, blah blah blah. Right? So, we'll even give them a little instructions here. Keep reading. You're in the right place. So I like these little almost they're a little dramatic, but it's point across. Okay, so cool, right? Makes sense. Feel stuck. This is like a good start to the experts agree, right? Experts agree. Experts. Experts. I cannot click. Experts. Agree. Look at this. We're getting dirty. Doing this in real time. Copy paste in. Experts agree. All right. So I'm going to do just a little cleanup on this row because the margins are off. There's just little things that once you work with this software enough, you'll start getting really familiar with these. But honestly, what I'm doing right now is overkill. You can be up and running with their templates, being awesome very quickly. I am just somewhat anal retentive when it comes to layout, design, all that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just helps if it looks good, and I have done this long enough that it's just I know the buttons to push. But don't worry so much if this is starting to freak out. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna find a little image that rather than green color, does it make a difference? Psychology way. Green color. Sorry, I'm not 100% sure which one you mean. You mean red? Sorry, this is going to sound harsh, but are you colorblind? That's a personal question. You don't have to answer that. But that is red on the text is red on the page, or I'm colorblind. One of the two, or you're talking about something else. Feel stuck.
Yes, ADHD and OCD is very true. Jeremy, yeah, this is red. If it looks green, consult your eye doctor, or I need to. One of the. We're gonna. Don't worry. We're gonna make this all make sense. All right. So let's add in a little image here. I'm gonna go over to my favorite free website for images, which is pexels.com. Look at this. Has a bunch of cool videos. Now I will show you how I do my cool little video things. I've got some code. Maybe I'll pop it in. You know what? Let's do a video because guess what? It's 2020. Videos are cool. So we can go to videos.pexels.com. Man, is my computer mad at me for doing all of this at the same time. We're going to find a little short, and guess what, guys? I'll be honest, I end up spending way too much time picking out images and videos and stuff. By the way, as you're watching, just kind of like make a mental note. Like there are ClickFunnels, when you get it, has like a great data, like it will walk you through how to do a lot of this stuff without like having to worry about my OCD page design stuff. Okay, so this is their video stuff. This is pretty cool. Maybe we can find someone who's looking bummed out. To me, like, there's big debates out there, positive, negative emotions, which ones you should focus on. I know, like, technically, fear, negativity, blah, blah, like, technically has a better appeal to the human psyche. But at the same time, I think you can balance it. You can be positive, negative, happy, sad. We are all a bunch different range of emotions. About this chick. She's just reading a book. It doesn't mean she's sad. About this guy. He's very happy. That could be interesting. So this is why it's kind of fun sometimes to like design while you're, design the graphics while you're writing. Not the best approach, but it does sometimes give you inspiration. I'm just going to type in sad. No, I'm going to search hang on, I have to go to the top here. But I'm almost like maybe we should use a happy video picture. Oh, green versus red. Yeah, so I like red because it's like an agitator. It's not necessarily negative. It gets your like poisonous and or sexy. It's like the human brain, subconscious, will look at red and be like, what is going on? It's important. But it's like one of my favorite colors. So, you can use whatever color. What you do want to do is make your buttons have contrast with the page. So if I'm using red through this whole page, I might make the button green. So yeah, oh, look at that. She's sad. She's a ballerina too. So I'm almost thinking like, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't necessarily want somebody smoking. I don't want somebody doing drugs. These are weird as I like the doggy. What about this? We are going to use our little loving couple because it's a nice contrast, right? 7 seconds, right? Is that how long this is? And what we can do is give a little context. So we're going to download this, free download. We can donate if we want. Not going to today, someday. And then I'll show you guys. So this is advanced piece, right? Like I don't want you to feel like you could literally just put a picture of a frowning face. It'd be fine. But if you take a little bit of time and step up the design a bit more, you're going to find, you're going to be like happier with your work, but also like it likely will convert better. Not always. Sometimes these ugly, nasty looking pages do awesomeness. Clean is the goal here. Okay, so happy couple. So I have Vimeo Pro, which means I can host this video for free. You could put this on Dropbox, embed it. You could do all, like, don't have to go get Vimeo Pro. You could upload the image, or I don't know if you can upload the video to ClickFunnels. Might be able to, but we're gonna do video backgrounds. I got a bunch of stuff in here. I am going to upload a new video. So nice thing, these videos I'm embedding. It's just kind of like when you go to YouTube and watch a video, you're actually loading probably like 200-300 megabytes worth of stuff. This video is 20 megabytes, which is big, right? If this was like a image on the page, that would be ridiculously big. But browsers these days are optimized to play videos. So some people are like, oh, it slows down the page. No, it doesn't, because it loads in a whole different manner. And you can have an alternate image that loads in the background if you want. Just to answer that question. Poisonous and sexy. Indeed. Okay, so real quick, we are going to grab the code that I use. Oh boy, I typed it wrong. I'm actually going to, I'll put this link in the, just kind of the other area here. My browser is really, we may have to break this into two-part, guys, because we're at about the 2-hour mark. So we'll get this page kind of going, and then I will commit to doing another one of these to go into more in depth on the other elements we didn't get to. But now, personally, I'm getting a little better hang of how these little live stream goes. So hopefully this will go a little smoother next time. But let's do this. Let's get this, at least the base level piece of this together for us. Does that sound good to everybody? Because I'm sure if you've been on here for 2 hours, you're like, come on, dude. And what I'll do is we'll just pick up where we left off. Okay, so right now I am in another browser trying to find this video embed to share with you guys. Video. Oh my gosh. It's the problem when you start collecting a bunch of stuff. Aha! I think that's it. There we go. So I'm using a little tool here called CodePen that I use to save little bits of code that I use. Because what you can actually do, you can embed you can embed HTML stuff in ClickFunnels. So if you've done any kind of tech stuff, like you're probably familiar with how to embed a YouTube video, and this is pretty much the same concept, except we're not using YouTube. I mean, you probably could, but I'm using what's called an HTML5 video embed. I should have just put an image because everybody who's watching this is going to be like, bro, what you doing? So I've got this bit of code here. Don't worry about it. I'm going to set the width. I'm not too worried about max height. Just going to do auto width. You don't need to know this stuff, but seeing that it's possible is part of the awesomeness of learning, because guess what? Maybe like 2-3 months from now, you're like, man, you know what? I know it's possible to embed a video on a page and have it loop. And what was that? All right, so now I've got my HD video here. I am going to actually just grab my little link here. And then guess what? You might go back to this video and say, hey, what was he doing? Oh, he was using HTML5 video. Maybe this is an object lesson, right? Oh, Vimeo Pro. Man, what is that? Right? So don't worry so much about these specific pieces of the puzzle all the time as the, okay, so I can embed this anywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I'm going to pop it in here. The reason I use Vimeo Pro is because to me it is the lowest price for hosted video that doesn't, that you can basically do anything you want with. The more you know, right? Okay, so we're going to play this, autoplay, loop, muted. Learn from my experience in this, right? This, to be honest, I could fine tune this like crazy. All right, so I'm gonna hit my little preview so you guys can kind of see what we're doing here. All right, so we got our happy couple over here on the right. Obviously, this is like way too high. So I can show you. You're not gonna like this, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna say max height 550 pixels. I'm just gonna take a little guess, and then overflow hidden. Don't worry about it. It's more knowing that it's possible. You could hire someone on Fiverr to do this for you, by the way, for like $10 if you know what you're doing. So maybe you go out. Look at that. Now I can get a little crazy. We'll do one more little code edit, then I'm done with this code part because I'm just having some fun. Showing off. We're actually going to wrap this whole video in a div. And then, yeah, you can say, hey, I want you to, like, put this video on this page. What do you think? And they'll be like, yeah, I can do that. $5. Guess what? You now know that it's possible, which is the first step. We're going to put a div in here. Style equals max height. We'll say we're going to bump that up a little bit to 600 pixels. Overflow is hidden. And width is 100%. And that should put a nice little box for our video to live in. And we'll do border radius 10 pixels. All right. I'm just doing this because I have this weird, like, yeah, there you go. Put a GIF in there. I have a weird addiction to making things much more difficult than they need to be. Hey, look at that. Doesn't that look pretty cool? It does to me. All right. Anyways, that's pretty sweet. Don't even worry about it. So what we've got here now is the start of the first part of our landing page, which is, and in fact, I am going to link to this funnel map so that I can close it. And guess what? Your page can be much simpler. It doesn't need to be crazy. At the same time, I like making things look neat. It's a nice challenge for myself. All right, funnel map. I'm going to pop this in here so that everybody has access, including myself, for later when we do part 2 of this. But guess what? This page, yeah, it's gonna end up converting a bit better in this page. It might not, though. That's why we test things. We'll talk about that another time. But now we have our little happy couple here. We could put a little preface under a little caption that's like, you know, success isn't always about this, about that, blah 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 blah. But you get the concept, right? We're visually stimulating. We're playing with this design a bit, but again, the demonstration here of how easy it is to work within ClickFunnels, I think, is a good lesson for all of us to understand. I am going to also move my header over here because I want to actually give a little more breathing room for this video. I'm going to make this height just a little bit higher. Starting to look like my other page. And that page, the sean.co/copy, converts better than any page that I've ever built. So copy it. All right. All right, we'll come back and clean this up. We can talk about the elements that make a page work and don't. Right now, it's a little too, like, there's like a bunch of different font sizes and stuff. But I am fairly happy with the base level piece of this, okay? So we'll be able to jump back into this next round and talk about the rest. But what we have built out already is our core structure of the funnel. We have the first part of our sales page. Let's talk real quick. So our TED Talk here, right? The second part of our sales page is the selling of the product. That's where we're getting into, like,
why we developed it, who's it for, who's it not for. We'll map this all out in detail together next round. But I tell you what, guys, I think that's a good starting point. We're at about 2 hours and 15 minutes. But let's recap just a little bit here. So the goal of this whole video series, this whole stream series, is to build out a very entry-level info product. Not to necessarily sell right away, but to give us the structure to build the rest of our info product on. So as I have said 1,000 times, the PLR is about giving our content structure more so than having it be the end-all be-all of our product. Because ideally, if you are an expert at organizing information, you could just jump in, design your own slides, get going, and be good to go. For what it's worth, PLR products, for as janky as they might be, a lot of times they are very well structured and give us a hopping off point. And that's why we picked this one up. It's to be the starting point for our product. Now, the technology side, we've looked at a couple different tools. The ClickFunnels, to me, is, in my experience, a very easy to learn website builder. It's really what it is. It obviously has a lot of bells and whistles for the marketing side too, which we'll get into. We'll look at some examples of how I use the exit pops and all that. But for the most part, the goal here is to get live fast so we can start testing, so we can start introducing this to our audience. So again, in our next one, we'll look at some traffic strategies as well. The first traffic piece is going to be this Facebook group. That'll be our, we'll talk about, we're going to dive into traffic. Traffic strategies. Our first one's going to be organic, low-hanging fruit, right? Organic. Build a Facebook group on the product or topic. That's what I did when I launched mine. It really helped. And then we'll transition into paid advertising, which we will bring on our buddy Brandon Garland to maybe walk us through some of that stuff. So, all right, guys, let's pause it there. If you enjoyed it, give me a what's up in the chat if you can. Design question: how many fonts per page? I try to keep it to 2 fonts. There's a lot of font sizes going on here. We'll clean this all up, but I like to kind of depending on the topic, right, and the tone of the message. So on this page, it's a little more intense. So I'm going with a serif font. It's a little more traditional, a little more maybe dramatic, however you want to interpret that. If your font's a little more fun, you might go a little more fun. You know, so a lot of that stuff is subjective, right? You may just go one font, go all the way through. Big old blocks of text, I like to use sans serif. It's a lot easier to read, I've found. But yeah, one serif and one sans serif, and you'll have all your bases covered. All right. I enjoyed this. I hope you guys did. I really had a lot of fun doing this. I thought I said you were wrong. Thank you, Jess. Appreciate that. Jesse? Jess. Appreciate you guys. Siaka. How do I pronounce that? Siaka. Appreciate that. You are awesome too. But again, guys, don't let the tactical. I just really made my thing. Don't let this tactical stuff that you may see me working on a page or writing a piece of copy, and it may seem a little overwhelming. Don't let that prevent you from getting the ball rolling. If you have a goal to build an info product, start brainstorming. I'll be honest, like your first couple attempts may just crash and burn. That's okay. We're here. What are we doing? What's the saying? You work to learn, not to earn. Something like that. So you're going to have some trial and error. You're going to have some mistakes. I mess up all the time, but I learn from those. I keep a journal of my mistakes. The best journal you ever read, because you'll learn from it, right? Multi-skilled marketing magician. So to that point too, you don't have to learn everything perfectly. I very much enjoy learning this stuff. I've been doing this for almost a decade now, so if it seems like super easy to me, that's why. It's not that I am super special. I just very much enjoy doing it and have been doing it almost every day for the last 5 years, on and off for the last 10. But the beauty of tech tools like this, like ClickFunnels and Teachable, it's a lot easier than it's ever been. You can, I literally am consulting with a client right now. I kid you not. I can't disclose his name under a non-disclosure, but this kid, he is a kid. He is 23. Just launched his first info product. He obviously has had experience over the last couple of years with another type of business. Don't even want to give too much away, but he has a Teachable site and a webinar. Knows advertising, has a lot of the base covered. He's 23. This guy did $1 million in revenue in his first month. Spent a lot on development. He did the fast track, right? He hired developers. But it's ClickFunnels, Teachable, EverWebinar, tools. Why didn't I make $1 million a month? Because I likely need to learn from his strategy stuff. So I consider that a failure of my own. I haven't gotten there yet. Why haven't I? I look at what he did. He leveraged a lot of other people, but he also invested the assets, the money. Probably spent $100,000 on that funnel. Don't know. He hired me for a pretty penny to look at it and tell him what he did wrong. My first answer was, "You did a lot of stuff right, buddy, but it can be better." So that's why I'm coming in. So I bring that up just because if you're a little overwhelmed, don't sweat it. It's part of the process. I am overwhelmed when I start thinking about what he just did by hiring a bunch of people. I'm like, I don't want to hire a bunch of people. His product was $2,000. My next big launch is going to be for a $2,000 product on very similar topic of this, but way more in depth. But I do want to give back to this community. I've very much enjoyed building out. We've got 8,000 members in the group now, so hopefully a lot of you will learn from this. But I'll sign off here. If you are watching the replay, very much appreciate you picking it up. I'm going to leave it in the group, by the way, for a bit of time. But I'm going to do this Creative Lifestyle, which is a company. They do the training live. If you attend live, you get it for free. But seeing how unorganized this is and a little more, could be a bit more structured, I am going to leave this up for a while. You can scrub through it. And likely I will post the digital version or the high definition version too. But yeah, I'm going to sign off here, guys. 2 minutes and a half an hour. If you made it from the start of this, I know I saw a few people. Look at that, Hamid. Will you do copy reviews? Hamid, I have seen and appreciate you staying for the whole call. Look at you. You are a learner. You will be an earner. I can feel it. I have seen your posts, and they are top of mind. I have been just very busy lately with putting the final touches on the book and just haven't had time to sit down and really do a bunch of copy reviews, but you will be the first one to get it. I've seen your stuff. Very much appreciate you taking the time and effort to write it. That is so important. I see you've been getting some feedback in the group, but I will do my best to dive in and give you some feedback as well. Jeremy, you keep well, my friend, as well. And yeah, let's pop it here. You guys are awesome. So how do I even stop this stream? I'm not 100% sure. I'm about to pass out too because I didn't eat any lunch, which is part of the problem. But let's do this. I'm gonna do a proper sign off. I'm gonna go full screen at the end here and wave goodbye. Look at this. Woo! There we are. I'm talking to you guys now. All right. It's been real, my friends. Until next time, I will post in the group the next event where we'll go into part 2 of this, and we'll keep on going. Talk soon, my friends.